All right, welcome back to Ireland Contracting Night. Sports call. Rich Walsh. If you need a roof, make sure you call Ireland Contracting. They're the best in the business. 1-800-NEW-ROOF is their number. It's easy to remember. I would call them if I need a roof. Paul Zeise would call them if he needs a roof. 1-800-NEW-ROOF. You can give us a call right now on the Borders and Borders hotline. 412-575-2600. Paul, I was just talking about the Pirates seem to take one step forward, two steps back when it comes to injuries. Now Trevor Williams is going to miss a couple starts more than likely. It's just not a good situation when the strength of this team is now hampered by injuries again.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing about it is if you lose Williams and Tyon, you know,
they're two best pitchers.
Not just that, as bad as Archer has been, you know, and Jordan Lyles, I know he's been pitching well, but it's sooner or later it's going to catch up. I mean, he's going to become Jordan Lyles again. You know what I mean? You would think,
unless he got the Ray Searage magic.
Well, I mean, come on.
It only works for some pitchers. Doesn't work for the good ones.
And usually it only works for a period of time. But my point is, if you really look at it, they don't have many options. And so if Williams is going to be one of these obliques that takes forever to heal, this team, I can't see how this team is going to remain competitive for.
Yeah, and that's one of the issues that that's hampered Starling Marte over the years. Remember, he had the oblique issue a couple years ago, and he kept missing games, and he was out for stretches of the time. That's something that will linger throughout the season with him, almost like a hamstring for guys.
Well, I mean, they try and get him 100% healthy, but some of them take a long time to heal. And if it takes a long time to heal, again, and when I say long time, what if it takes like 20, 25 days or something where he misses like 4 or 5 starts? Now you're missing 4 or 5 starts from him, 4 or 5 more starts from from Tyon.
Yeah.
You know, and tomorrow they're talking about, what are they talking about tomorrow?
Brault.
Or the opener thing.
Yeah. So.
Which I would think if they're going to do an opener, it would be Liriano if they don't have to use him tonight.
Yeah, because I doubt that they would use him tonight because they used him yesterday. So it's a bad situation for the Pirates, but if somehow they can, you know, end the month of May around 500, I still have somewhat not high hopes, but you have to be kind of optimistic that they might be in contention with the wild card come July if you can get guys healthy.
They got to get pitchers healthy.
Yeah,
I mean, honestly, you look at the guy. I mean, I don't think if Corey Dickerson comes back, I don't think he changes much because they've been playing Melky Cabrera and the Reynolds kid. Those two guys have been hitting the hell out of the ball. So you really think about it, he's not going to be better than them. Eric Gonzalez, the best thing that happened for them was he got hurt. You know, I mean, if you look, I mean, Lonnie Chisenhall, who cares? So my thing is, if you really take a look at it, the guys that have to get healthy are the 2 pitchers.
Well, 3, Keona Kella, too.
Well, Kella, yeah, but
it's
especially
another pitcher.
Williams and Tyon.
Yeah, no question about it.
Those 3 guys are the key guys. I mean, the rest of those guys, like I said, Corey Dickerson's a nice player, but he's not going to do better than what they've done.
I don't think so.
You know, in his absence. I mean, Reynolds has been ridiculous, and Melky Cabrera, if you ask me, could be the best value of the entire league right now.
Well, there's no doubt about that. I mean, what he was able to do, he was a minor league signee this year.
The thing was, everybody knew he could hit.
Yeah.
And he's hit. I mean, he's always hitting his entire career.
All right, let's go out to the phone lines. We're going to go out to Al in the West End. What's up, Al? How you doing?
Richie, my man.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Good. Thanks for calling.
I got a statement for you and Paul there about the Pirates. When the Royals made their World Series run, it was the starting pitching and the bullpen. Astros were all about pitching. The Pirates have no pitching issues. I think it's time now for Mr. Ski Resort to go sign Craig Kimball and Dallas Keuchel. What do you guys think about that?
You know what? I'm glad you bring this up because I talked about this earlier on the news, and I know you've stressed this on Twitter and on your radio show, and we talked about this at length. You know, I would love for the Pirates to go out there and try to sign a guy like Dallas Keuchel. There's no question about it. He's 31. I don't know if you can get a bargain on this guy or you can even sign him. A lot of teams are waiting until after the draft to sign this guy because a team like the Pirates, it would fall into the lower luxury tax teams. They would have to give up their 3rd overall pick, and I think for the Pirates it would be number 57 overall. I think it's worth it right now, especially if if a guy like Trevor Williams is out for a long period of time, you need to get some. You need to get this. If you want to contend, you need to get a guy like Dallas Keuchel.
Well, if you get Keuchel, it'll take 2 or 3 weeks for him to get ready to play. So if you're going to get him, you better go get him. I think Kimbrel would be a real good addition to this team, but they're not going to spend money for one of those guys, much less two.
No.
I think the thing about Kimbrel is if you get him, you can make him your closer, and now all of a sudden you have Vasquez to clean up messes in whatever inning you need to use them, because you've got a closer now. You've got Kella and Crick for the 8th inning. You can use Vasquez any way you want, which means in the 5th inning, if a tough lefty comes up and there's 1 out and 2 guys on, you can use him for to get out of that inning, and maybe the 6th inning, and then go to because you're getting them out. You're getting out of the most
important.
The biggest danger. The danger part of the game.
I like Dallas Keuchel, and if they could get a guy like him, well, there's not too many guys like him there. But the downside to it is you don't know you don't know where Dallas Keuchel is in the stage of his career. I mean, he struggled. His stats have gone up
a little bit, but he's been pretty good. The thing about it is,
but he's going to want like a 5-year, $100 million deal.
They're talking about him taking a 1-year deal and trying to cash in next year. If you get him on a 1-year deal, I don't care how much it costs.
Well, yeah, that's what I would do. Even if it costs $15 million because it's a half a year. If you're serious about contending, that's what you try to go after.
I would say even if it costs you $20 million, because prorated, that's what, about 13?
Well, I was saying $15 million for the rest of the year, whatever that deal is.
Right.
I'd be willing to do
that
it
would
if
be
it's
my
a 1-year deal. If you could do it, but he might want to sign with a contender.
Right.
That's the problem with the Pirates right now. So, all right. Thanks for your call. Let's get back out to the phone lines. We got Larry out in North Huntington. What's up, Larry?
Hello. You come back from spring training talking about how great the Pirates looked and this and that, and then you come on tonight and you're saying, oh, well, they're 1 game above and this and that. Let's face the facts. They're losers. They're not going nowhere.
Larry,
why lie to the fans?
I'm not lying to anyone. I thought they looked pretty good in spring training. I didn't say they were great. I was high on a couple players. Eric Gonzalez was one of the guys that I was high on. He looked incredible in the field, and I thought he was going to be a great defender. He got hurt. He would have been their shortstop, but you know what? Like you said, it might have been a blessing in disguise that he gets hurt. You don't want to see anyone get hurt, but now you brought Cole Tucker up here. This is their shortstop of the future. Maybe there's a chance to move Gonzalez to second base. He's a better second baseman than Adam Frazier, but you want Adam Frazier's bat. The Pirates are in a bad predicament where they have a lot of average players or players that can only do one thing.
And that's the problem. I think Cole Tucker is fine because he's so good on one side, defensively. You can live with learning, watching him learn how to hit.
Yeah.
The problem is, Eric Gonzalez to me has no value. None. Brault has no value. Kingham has no value. That's the problem they have. Colin Moran has a little bit of value as a bench guy, as a pinch hitter. But if you're going to try and make him your everyday third baseman, he has no value.
Well, that's where they are right now. They have to because of Jung Ho Gung's situation.
But that's the problem. That's the problem. They got too many guys like that.
Yeah, they got a lot of average.
What's he doing? Nothing at all.
Who?
Cervelli.
The catching has been an issue. They just outrighted Jacob Stallings today, too, to Indianapolis. But, Larry, believe me, I did not come back from spring training and say they were going to be great. I think my final prediction was around 500, maybe 85 wins. But I think they're an average team, a team that's going to just miss out on a wild card maybe if they're lucky. The problem with the Pirates, they get to hit on all cylinders to be good, to maybe be above the 85-win team. And right now, the injuries have really hampered this team. Also blowing games because of the bullpen has struggled. So that's been the Pirates' problem right now. And that's what happens with average teams. They go through winning streaks and losing streaks. And if you look at their run differential, that doesn't show a winning team. But
right. And also, they have no margin for error. And now with all these injuries, they've had a lot of error.
All right. Well, we got to take a break. Back with more of your phone calls, some of your tweets coming up next. Stay right there.